In this video, we're going to talk about a strategy that can save you hundreds of dollars in booking a flight. Let's talk about it. Welcome everybody. It's Joe time. And this is my Joe time mug. It's got my mug. Get it? It's a mug with a mug on one side. My slogan is Joe time on the other. For those of you who are wondering, you're new to the channel, what is Joe time? That's when I sit down in the morning and talk to you. You might not be watching this in the morning, but I'm recording it in the morning. And if you're new to the channel, please click my face down there in the corner to subscribe and ring that bell icon up above so you know when I post new videos. So what's this strategy we're talking about? I suggested you could save hundreds of dollars in booking a flight. Well, the strategy is hated by airlines. Is it illegal? I don't think so. I don't even think it's unethical, but they really don't like it. And what I'm referring to is a strategy that's known as skiplagging. So what is skiplagging? Skiplagging is when you book a flight that has a connection, but your destination is really where the connecting airport is and not your final destination. So you get off there, you don't complete the route, and as a result, you could possibly save money. How could this be possible? Well, let me give you an example. I'm just going to kind of make something up. These numbers are not going to be accurate. But let's say that you want to get to Atlanta. Now, Delta serves Atlanta. I have been on some crazy flights that have gone through Atlanta simply because Delta was my carrier. That's where they make connections. I have gone from New Jersey to Wisconsin by flying down to Atlanta. I have also been on flights where I've been in Edmonton, Alberta, going to Wisconsin through Dallas. I mean, there's crazy routing going on. And sometimes you'll find that you can take a longer flight that, for example, let's say I'm going from Wisconsin and I say I'm going to Miami. Wisconsin to Miami might be cheaper than Wisconsin to Atlanta. And Atlanta is really where I want to go. So I book the Miami flight, I get off in Atlanta, and I just don't complete the second portion of my flight. Now, how can that save money? Well, sometimes they're not in this example, but sometimes airlines have a monopoly on a particular destination. And since there are no other flights going, this isn't the case, but let's say the only flight that went from Milwaukee to Atlanta was Delta. I'm making this up. Delta could charge a lot more money because they kind of have a monopoly on that route. But there could be a lot of different airlines that go from Milwaukee to Miami. So now Delta is going to compete with them, and they're going to have lower rates for Milwaukee, Miami with a layover in Atlanta. You still with me? So it might be cheaper to book Miami, but just get off in Atlanta. Okay, before we talk about the right or wrong and how the airlines look at this, let's talk about the caveats and what you have to be careful of. And I jotted a couple of things down here if you see me looking off screen, just to make sure that I touch on everything. The first one, well, of course, you don't want to tell people you're doing this. You don't want to brag about this openly. You don't want to let the gate agents or the people at the check-in counters know that you're doing this. You don't want to raise suspicion. That's the first thing. The second thing, don't overdo it. There have been a few people, now this is a practice that airlines, will talk about this in a bit, have come down on a few people for doing, but usually these are people that have done it dozens of times. They draw attention to themselves. So don't overdo it. Also, baggage. You can't do this if you check bags. Because if I get off in Atlanta, my bags are still going on to Miami. And I don't want to lose my bags. So don't check your bags. Make sure you're just using carry-on. Also, you can't do this on a round-trip flight because once you miss a flight, the rest of your reservation is going to be canceled. Aside from that, you're pretty safe. Now, let's talk about what airlines can do. As I said, airlines have taken on a few people, but in most cases, they're just people who have overdone it, and there are very, very few cases where airlines, number one, even bother to pursue it, and number two, can really prove it. How do they know that you didn't just have an emergency, that you missed a flight for some reason? They really can't prove that. If you do it like this person that Atlanta went after 38 times, yeah, then you can get yourself in a little bit of trouble. What exactly can they do? Well, you can't be thrown in jail for it. But when United did go after one customer, the first thing they did is they went after their frequent flyer account and they nullified that. So if you have a large frequent flyer account, you might not want to take the risk. Now, the next thing that United did in this case, it was something like a $3,000 difference, and they threatened to turn it over to a collection agency, which of course could affect your credit rating. But this is such an isolated case. I think most of the time, first of all, they won't even be aware of it. And secondly, they're probably not going to want to pursue it unless you really go overboard. Lufthansa airline also tried to bring suit against someone, and it was thrown out in the lower court. So it looks like legally the courts are on the side of the travelers, because let's face it, what are you really doing wrong? You really are not doing anything illegal, unethical, or fattening. Let's compare it to other industries, because there's nothing really unique about airline. We kind of think it is. It's big and it's fancy, and they're regulated and they have all this security before you get in. But in the end, it's just a company. It's just a business. And let's compare it to, I don't know. I have a suit. Actually, I have two. I bought the same suit. I liked it so much I bought two of them. And it's kind of a brown with black threads in it, and it goes real well with a black pair of pants. So oftentimes when I travel, I'll bring this brown/black suit, and then I'll bring a black pair of dress pants, because I can match the jacket with a pair of dress pants. When I want to look dressed up, I wear the suit with a tie. When I want to look casual, I'll wear the jacket, open collar shirt, and a pair of black pants. Now imagine if the store that sold me the suit came after me and said, you can't do that. That is sold and designed to be worn as a suit. You have to wear the pants and the jacket together. You tell them to go pound sand. They can't tell you, I purchased it. I can use it however I want. I'll give you another example. My internet carrier is AT&T. Now, it's just kind of weird, but it's cheaper. They have a package where it's cheaper for me to buy my internet if I also buy telephone service. It's absolutely crazy. I never use a landline. Why would I have to? I have a cell phone. My wife has a cell phone. We don't need the landline, but it's just cheaper. Now, can you imagine if AT&T tried to come after me and said, you have to use that landline because that's a package we sold you? I mean, I don't even have to have a phone plugged in. I do. I never answer it. Whenever it rings, I just let it go to voicemail because it's usually a telemarketer. But it's just insane to think just because you purchase something, you have to use the entire item that you purchase. Now, let's look at the flip side of this. Oftentimes, airlines are the cause of you missing a connection. Right? Could be for any number of reasons. In fact, I did a whole video where I missed my flight. It was like 9 things all had to line up perfectly in order for me to miss my connection. I missed it. I'll link that up here. And, well, then it's okay, right? Then it's okay if I say, well, I missed my connection. I'm going to be sitting in the airport for 6 hours. I'm going to find an alternate way home. Then the airport wouldn't go after you. But if you do it as a strategy, somehow it's wrong. You can't have it both ways. Another great example, when I'm on the West Coast and I take a red eye, there are no red eyes to Milwaukee. There's always a layover, and typically in my case, it's in Chicago. And that layover can sometimes be as much as 4 hours. And it's maddening to think I'm going to sit in this airport for 4 hours when I can get on the bus and be back in Milwaukee and pick up my car at the Milwaukee airport in about 90 minutes. So there have been times when I have been on a red eye. Sometimes I don't care. I'll just kick back, have breakfast, and then get my connecting flight. But if I have to be somewhere on the next day, I will get off in Chicago, get on the bus, and take the bus to Milwaukee, and I'll beat the flight by hours. Now, I don't do that for skiplagging purposes, obviously. I do it for the sake of convenience. In either of those cases, I have never had the airport call me, come down on me, question me. I'm just a guy that missed a flight. So I think it'd be really tough for them to prove, well, first of all, catch you at it and challenge you, let alone prove that you have done something wrong. They're the ones that set the pricing. If we can find ways to benefit from it and take advantage of some loopholes, I don't see how it's a problem. And as I said, I don't see any ethical or moral issues whatsoever. But what are your thoughts? I would love to hear from you. Number one, have you ever done it? Have you ever successfully skiplagged and saved some money? And number two, what do you think of the moral, ethical, and legal implications? Please leave your comments down below. Like and share the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell up above so you know when I post new videos. As always, thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Mark, and this is Mark's Travel Time.